How's the royal family? I pray that everyone is doing well. First and foremost, I'd like to thank S. Wiseman for letting me know about the update on this murder of this queen here. And what I did was I wanted to just wait because I wanted a full picture of everything. And when I had got the link from S. Wiseman, my empathic ability had kicked in. Anybody that's an empath, you can't control what comes in. And so there's going to be a twist in this story that I'm getting ready to present. And I could be wrong. I don't always get this right. Keep that in your frontal lobe. So, it's the article speaks for itself. Baltimore police arrest husband near Mexico border as evidence revealed he, not handler, killed his wife. Also, he ran off with his daughter too as well. So, this is our queen here, Jacqueline Smith, and it's just terrible and disgusting. Just disgusting. And so I got two videos that I'm going to play the royal family because I want y'all to take it all in, and I'm going to throw y'all way off why I think he murdered her. Let's see here. So first what we're going to hear is this a little over 6-minute video, and police are doing a press conference here. So let's start here first.
Hold on one second. Yes, ma'am. Come on in, guys. Get in. Good evening, everyone. I am joined by our mayor, our state's attorney, our deputy commissioner, our chief of detectives, our homicide commander, and our lead detective sergeant. On December 1st of last year, we received a 911 call from 52-year-old Keith Smart that his wife Jacqueline had been stabbed to death after giving money to a panhandler in the 1000 block of Valley Street in East Baltimore. We now know that that was not true. Earlier this morning, after a lengthy investigation, 52-year-old Keith Smart and his daughter, 28-year-old Valeria Smith, were arrested in Harlingen, Texas, near the Mexican border, and now have been charged with first-degree murder. During the course of our investigation, we developed evidence that Mr. Smith was leaving Maryland, so we made the appropriate national notifications, and the Texas State Police arrested him this morning. All of our investigators prepared arrest warrants for both Keith Smart and Valeria Smith, outlining the evidence in this case to a judge who reviewed and signed the warrants for first-degree murder. So while I cannot go into tactical or investigative details about the case so as not to compromise the integrity of the investigation, I can say that there was outstanding detective work involved from the very beginning and great coordination and collaboration with the state's attorney's office, the Maryland Transportation Authority Police, and the Department of Homeland Security. This case, like all of these cases, certainly is a terrible tragedy. Jacqueline Smith was an innocent victim, and so I hope you will keep her in your thoughts and in your prayers. I commend the investigators who worked and continue to work on this case for their tenacity, their thoroughness, their dedication to detail. And of course, this case remains open and is an ongoing investigation. So at this time, I'd like to turn it over to our mayor and then to our state's attorney.
First, let me just say thank you to our detectives for all the work that they've done in this case, and to Jacqueline Smith's family. We are sincerely in pain for that family, and also for the citizens of Baltimore, because these individuals took advantage of a situation, a city that is already dealing with its own problems. So we're looking forward to this cruel act being brought to justice, And again, let me thank the state's attorney and all of our detectives who work together to bring this case so that we can see justice done. Madam State's Attorney.
I am incredibly proud of the work that these officers and these detectives have done in this particular case. Oftentimes we have these negative depictions about our city, and it's rather unfortunate when people take advantage of these negative perceptions. I can tell you that this is an example where collaborative efforts of the Baltimore Police Department and my office were able to get to the truth of the matter and to get to the bottom and to pursue, in the end, justice for Jacqueline Smith. And that's, in the end, what this is all about. And so I thank Commissioner Harrison and the Baltimore Police Department and the detectives who, and my office, of course, my prosecutors who were able to, again, collaboratively get to the bottom of what actually took place, and we look to pursue justice in the court of laws in the state of Maryland.
Couple questions. Commissioner Harrison, outside of the fact that they were down by the Mexico border, what was it that allowed you to tie this to the family?
Well, first of all, it's great detective work on the part of the detectives, the prosecutors, and everybody involved. And while I can't go into specifics, what I can say is we pursued the evidence from the very beginning, and these detectives were very tenacious, they were very thorough and dedicated, and they followed the evidence, and collecting all of that evidence allowed them to prepare a warrant, and the judge saw fit that probable cause existed and signed that warrant, and now they're charged with first-degree murder.
Commissioner Harrison, what was the motive?
Well, I think that's a trial matter, and so right now, we know that there was enough evidence for us to present to a judge. We were working with partners from around the country when we believed that they had left the area. They were being detained in South Texas, and a judge read our warrant, found probable cause exists to charge both of them with first-degree murder. And this is still an ongoing investigation, and so we don't want to say anything that would compromise that at this time.
Commissioner Harrison, can you just talk about the narrative? When this happened, a lot of people had fear about panhandlers approaching them, giving money to people who were asking for it on the street, and now this turns out that somebody close to her was responsible for the murder.
Well, I think that speaks to, number one, the information and the evidence points to it was not a panhandler. And people should still take caution and use due diligence when doing anything like that anywhere they are, anywhere in America. But it points to the fact that it was not a panhandler and that the circumstances were very different. And people took advantage of Baltimore. And what we want to make sure is that the truth comes out and justice is done.
Did the investigators have questions about the story from the beginning, or was it later on that it sort of kind of unraveled?
Well, I think that should come out in the investigation. Once again, answers to that could very well compromise the rest of the investigation. What we want to do is commend the officers for being diligent and thorough and making sure they ask the right questions, ask enough questions, and to the right people.
Any more?
Thank you.
Good.
Okay.
How did you know they were fleeing?
Good detective work. Thank you all.
very much.
Okay, that's the end of that, my royal family. So, let me go back here. So, the next video I'm going to show y'all might possibly, what word would I use? Reveal the energy that came in, why this man and his daughter possibly killed this woman. And what I think this all had to do with is that he been screwing his daughter, and he definitely did not want that shit to come out, because she was stabbed with a knife. Usually, when you hear people stabbed with a knife, that's something, passion, crimes of passion, or maybe possibly being revealed, your fuckery. Now, like I said, my royal family, I could be way off. And I often say, I don't always get this thing right. And that what keeps me humble, because I have noticed some people that are empathic, they always speak in the absolutes, and they won't acknowledge when they got it wrong, you know? And that, like, again, that humbles me. And so that was all over me. I mean, instantly. So when this next video that I'm going to show y'all possibly may be true. So now we're going to hear Jacqueline Smith's family speak about this dude.
Texas, just 20 miles from the border with Mexico.
Authorities say that he killed his wife, Jacqueline, and tried to cover it up with a tearful story that a panhandler stabbed her through their car window in East Baltimore.
WJZ investigator Mike Halgren is live in Aberdeen. He spoke to the victim's brother. Mike?
Marion Denise, Jacqueline Smith's brother, said he asked her husband, why did you roll down your window at that time of night? Why didn't you just speed off, and why didn't you take her directly to the hospital? He said he never received answers that were anything less than fishy. Now, the husband, Keith Smith, and his daughter Valeria are being extradited back to Baltimore to face justice.
Before this, did you trust him, or did you have issues?
Never cared for him. Never hung with him.
The brother of Jacqueline Smith says he never believed her husband Keith's story that a panhandler stabbed Jacqueline to death in East Baltimore last December.
There was a lot of questions. You know, how long it took to get her to the hospital. I mean, I had tons of them.
And so now I got to live with that. I got to live with that every day.
He also never believed Keith when he cried to the media following the killing.
What did you think then, and what do you think looking back on it now?
I was laughing then, and you know, I knew it was a circus. I knew it was all for optics. I knew it was a show, and I was just laughing. And I knew this day would come. I didn't know it would come this soon.
Now, both Keith Smith and his daughter Valeria are in custody. They were arrested in Cameron County, Texas. Here they are in court. They will be extradited back to Maryland to face murder charges.
People took advantage of Baltimore, and what we want to make sure is that the truth comes out and justice is done. There was not a great relationship between the daughter and my sister, and so there could have been a heated argument, discussion, or whatever that turned deadly.
Jacqueline's brother says Keith liquidated everything from her townhouse in Aberdeen after the murder, including the appliances, and abruptly announced he was moving to Florida.
If they can get the police to spend as much time in Florida, that gives him that much more time to make his way to the, to the border.
The last thing I thought, that they were going to take my wife's life.
The revelation that her husband got caught up in his web of lies brings some peace to Jacqueline's family, but there's still a long road ahead to justice.
I'd like to see them go to prison, maybe for life.
Jacqueline's brother says the motive may be murder. The couple have been married since 2014, but Baltimore City Police have not officially commented on what they believe the motive is. Live in Aberdeen, Mike Halgren, WJZ.
Mike, thank you. Well, this story captured national attention. Our coverage continues with Devin Bartolotta live at City Police headquarters with more reaction to the dramatic developments in this case. Devin?
Mary, friends tell me this is the news they have been waiting for, and while they are horrified and sad, they are not shocked. Call it a mother's instinct. Anna Trisvain says she knew from the moment Keith Smith called her about her daughter Jacqueline's death that something wasn't right.
I always have doubts about, the story he was telling.
On the phone from Rhode Island, Trisvain told WJZ she was immediately skeptical of the story told to police.
And my daughter was the type of person that was cautious. If somebody came to her window at 2 o'clock in the morning in the rain, begging for money, she would tell them, no, go get a job. I'm not giving them nothing.
3 months later, Keith Smith and his daughter Valeria were charged with Jacqueline's murder. Reactions have been powerful. The family's church posted on Facebook, quote, "In light of the recent challenging events, we still give God praise." Keith Smith told police the panhandler who stabbed his wife was begging for money on this block in the middle of the night in the pouring rain. Many who know East Baltimore say they saw through that story right away.
These are opportunists, and I'm glad they were caught.
Councilman Brandon Scott says the story police say Keith Smith spun took advantage of Baltimore's issues.
If you're someone like me who's from a rough part of Baltimore, you know that panhandlers typically don't go on side streets in East Baltimore. Why would they? How much car traffic would they get there?
Mayor Catherine Pugh released a statement on the arrest, calling this a double tragedy. Jacqueline's mother, meanwhile, is praising the fast work by police.
This was quick. I'm glad, yeah. I prayed every night, you know, because they killed my daughter. She was my baby.
The reactions from those close to Jacqueline are certainly heartbreaking, but even strangers have rallied around this case, even launching a Facebook group dedicated to getting justice for Jacqueline.
All right, my royal family. So we see here that Jacqueline's family was not feeling him. And I remember this story too, because what stood out to me when I was watching the video, it was just it just felt odd. I felt odd energy from his daughter. It was just something odd about that. And like I said again, I could be way off, but I really deep in my heart think that Jacqueline discovered her husband being quite foul and highly dysfunctional with his 28-year-old daughter, you know, and then that's just what I'm feeling right now, my royal family. And I would really like y'all to just be true, you know, honest with me and tell me what y'all feel. And I often let the royal family know I'm not the only one with this gift. You are chosen. We were born here with gifts. And you know how that thing is where messages will come to us, but then we will probably sometimes be in a state of denial. It was just really weird about his daughter. So anyway, my royal family, that's the end of this. So please render your voice with your beautiful divine words. And as always, my royal family, I thank you for your love. I thank you for your support. And with that said, Ashe. And one more thing, my royal family, look what number is right below this, her picture, 17. You can't make these things up. All right, my royal family, Ashe.